What's up, everybody? How y'all doing today? My name is Nicholas. Today's subject is art and science, music, art, science industries. So, the rumors have been floating around for a long time about all the freaky, creepy, cryptoid, hobgoblin freak off parties and such in Hollywood. I think we've all heard rumors about that subject, and I've been avoiding the art, science, music industries and from outside the box looking in and observing. And it tends to be very confusing, complicated, distorted, abstract masterpiece, modern art masterpiece that makes everything very confusing. Abstract, distorted on purpose. It's like, you need all these special privileges of some type to be allowed to be an artist. So I'm not allowed to be an artist, apparently, when it comes to the art music industries. So, for example, when I call up a lot of the art universities, they know who I am. And as soon as I mention my name, they hang up on me. Happens all the time. So, I wouldn't want to get involved with the art industries in the first place because it tends to be very lame, corny core. And most likely the constant narcissistic psychological abuse is going to give me a very hard time and obstruct me if I was to get involved with this art industry. And I can only speculate, but this is what I observed from reactions. Every action has an equal opposite reaction. So, not that I'm afraid, it's just that I could already know that if I was to go to art school or something, a lot of the Karens are going to constantly be projecting their weird psychotic mental illness towards me to compensate and comfort for their deficiencies. So I already know it. And that's why I avoid it. And it's sad because it's a kind of thought policing. I'm not allowed to go outside the box. I have to copy, paste, repeat, spam, copy, paste, repeat, spam the programmed script. They don't like it when I go outside the box and do my own thing and do something different. If you go to school, you have to do what they tell you to. You're not allowed to do what you want to do, of course. So that's why I was never interested in school, because I want to know what isn't being taught, what isn't programmed, what isn't scripted, what isn't copy, paste, repeat, spam. Broken record, same old broken record from the 1990s. Echoing chamber, echo, 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 over and over again. And so, I do a lot of different types of art. I don't just do AI art. I could do some painting. I'm not that good at it. And what I do, the type of art I do, is realism. It's a realism form that has the potential of being real. It's not real, but it's blueprints and design and material science and such for things that can be real. And it's invention art kind of stuff. So that is what gives the art I've been doing with the AI. It's extra spicy. It's because it, and I think of it as the ultimate form of art. For example, art cars, art motorcycles, and such. I love art. I love really fancy, classy, classic cars and art cars and such. And to me, that is the ultimate form of art because it has purpose, reason, function, form, meaning, reason, and value. And it involves the entire spectrum of arts. Say a custom motorcycle, I really have much more appreciation for the custom motorcycle, custom art, vehicle artist and such, because I kind of perceive that as the ultimate form of art because it was imagined, it was designed, it requires material science and fabrication and texturing and layering, and when it all comes together, it has meaning, reason, purpose, function, and value. It isn't just a cool motorcycle to look at. It actually does something. So, it's a machine that's designed to travel around, to drive you around. And so, what I've been doing with the AI art, I'm tired of the copy, paste, repeat, spam, and I just wanted to go outside the box and go where no man has gone before with the AI art, is what I was trying to do. And so, for some reason that triggers people. I could really get into the psychology of that sort of thing, but I suppose another reason why a lot of people might be triggered by my art is because I suppose we all might have a little bit of Amish in us. The Amish admire tradition and the old ways, and they don't like technology, and I think they use smartphones and some basic tech, but they would rather ride around in a horse and buggy. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. But I suppose that we all kind of have that kind of, a little bit of that perspective in us that wants us to be traditional, old school, sticking to the old ways, what is practiced, acknowledged, and copy, paste, repeat, spam, copy, paste, repeat, spam. And so I kind of think of it like I might have taught caveman how to make fire with my art. And the cavemen are angry at me. Oh, you're Prometheus. You're evil art, science. I don't know. What is it? And I suppose I might have a lot of Cain and Abel effect. A lot of the narcissists that don't have an identity are constantly looking at me and they're like, I want to wear your skin. I want, that should be my art. That should be my project. So it's very confusing, abstract. It's a very confusing subject. So where else was wanted to go with this? So, I think of myself as a wire artist. I do a lot of different types of wire art. That's what I kind of specialize in. I used to make a lot of wire sculptures of animals and robots and stuff like that. It has a very interesting style of art that I think I invented. I pretty might have been around for a long time, but I really elaborated on the texturing concept. I kind of describe it as like 3D printing, but I'm using wire, which is kind of like what I do with my wire art. It's very similar to 3D printing, but I'm not using plastics, I'm using wire. So that's the kind of art I specialize in. I can paint and stuff, but I do realism art, and it can take a year to half a year to paint realism. It requires months of texturing, layering, coloring, and focus to paint realism. And there is no way I possibly could have done all this painting in the time I did, because if I was doing it the traditional, old-fashioned way, I would still be painting right now. I'd be covered in paint. And even then, the art industry would make up another excuse of why I'm illegitimate. It's kind of really corny seeing the lame and corny core refuse to acknowledge anything I do because I offend their lame, corny feelings, nerdy feelings or something. And the AI art, I would like to understand why people think this AI art is controversial. Other than I kind of rub off as a type of enlightened consciousness of some type. Maybe kind of enlightened consciousness of alternated spectrum and frequency and perception. But why is it controversial? Why is my art considered controversial? And I can think of a lot of reasons why a lot of people in the art industry would consider what I do controversial. But mainly it's a lot of narcissistic pride and envy. And that's what society has become these days. It's constant psychological narcissistic abuse and privilege scrubbings and such. So apparently I could only speculate, but if I was a narcissist, the internet would feed it to me. If I was to go along with that deranged mental illness, they're like, oh, you're a narcissist. Here, have some more. They it pretty much feeds the machine. But I'm not going to get into any type of AI God or AI Messiah of some type. What I do is just art, and There is one God and his son, Jesus Christ. That's my personal belief. Each his own. But, uh, so, I can't help doing the art I do. I suppose it has a lot of an impact on politics and spirituality and such. And I would much rather avoid politics and maybe do a little bit of preaching. I need to practice my preaching. I'm not very good at it. I've read the Bible several times, and it still isn't enough. You really have to read the Bible a lot to articulate and describe what is going on. But I've been focusing on other things. I kind of think of what I do as an artist to glorify God instead of communicating and preaching. I suppose I glorify the heavens and God through art, I suppose you would say. And I suppose that triggers a lot of people as well, because my title is The Art of Connecting Heavens and Earth. And so I suppose that triggers a lot of people. And I refer to myself as Saint Nicholas because I'm an artisan, craftsman, hobbyist. And I do this type of gaudy-like art. I am not suggesting anything more than that. I'm not going to get into any type of delusional cult, Harry Potter School of Hogwarts psychobabble. I keep it real, and if I am talking about something, I got to have physical evidence. I got to have, I can't just be I'm not going to be making stuff up and ranting about things I don't know about. So when I am talking about something, I'm going to make sure that I'm not going to be bull crapping. Keep it real. And so, what else is there? Yapping. What's good, true, and facts? I'm in the hell are you wearing? What am I wearing? Leather jacket and, what? My bandana? Anyways, so I just wanted to talk about the arts, the art industry, and yeah, I think it's pretty much obvious that this art, entertainment, music, science industry, in order to get involved with the projects, you have to sell your soul, apparently. And the answer is no. I'd rather just not have anything to do with it and remain independent. I'm not interested in being a celebrity or internet influencer and such. I just do my art because that's what I love to do. And so I've been watching, I do a lot of product design searches when I post something on the internet. I try to make sure that it's original. And I might make mistakes. I make mistakes, and sometimes I might have a title on my photo or something that it's very complicated how this copyright thing works. But so I don't know if a lot of the post titles I made for a lot of my art projects might be interfering with other titles for copyrights and such on the internet. So I probably need to reword and articulate a lot of the titles I put on my videos. So YouTube doesn't give me a notification of any type. I've done my best to stick to the community guidelines on social media. Yeah, I do a pretty good job with community guidelines. I don't think I've ever I don't get involved with any disinformation. Or making up false, fake, phony AI archaeological expeditions or some kind of I don't do that, you know. So yeah, I think what I do with the AI art makes it obvious that it is AI, and I'm not pushing any type of agenda or social engineering and or politics and so forth. And for whatever reason, I get shadow banned on a lot of different platforms like Facebook and Instagram. Shadow bans me. They've been shadow banning me since like 2018 for no apparent reason that I know of. And I don't even really care. I use Facebook for my photo album and so forth. So I don't even so like I got shadow banned from the internet a long time ago on these platforms. YouTube has been nice. Thank you. Thank you, YouTube. I try to be very respectful and go along with the community guidelines. I believe in the freedom of speech, and so I even appreciate my haters being honest about how much they hate my guts. Thank you. Thank you for being honest about how much you hate my guts. I don't mind. Honestly, I think you're better than the rhino Republicans that hate my guts but pretend to be on my side. I don't like that. That's if you don't like me and you're not on my side, please stop pretending. I admire the honesty. So, yeah. Because it's thing about the Republicans that is they don't welcome the art science. That I don't know what they want. Probably just power and control, and to keep a clean image to make themselves look well polished and respectful. But in reality, they're probably just as much of a jerk as any other Democrat. So I'm not liberal, I'm not Democrat, but honestly, I appreciate their honesty and letting us know what they're about. Okay. So, so the art industry is basically money laundering, is pretty much what the art industry is. I don't like talking smack about a lot of people, but I suppose there's no other way to reference it. But Hunter Biden, I'm not a big fan of the Bidens, Joe Biden and Hunter Biden, but pretty much what Hunter Biden was using the art industry for was, I could only speculate. I don't know for sure. I'm not accusing him of doing anything, but apparently, he makes these crackhead finger paintings and sells it for like $500,000. And I suppose it's a type of money laundering to say, hey, I'm making you a crackhead finger painting, selling it for $500,000, and then you give me $500,000, and then I'll sell you my crack under the table. Sell you crack underneath the table, and you give me $500,000 for my crackhead painting. So, kind of like a receipt, I suppose. That's pretty much what the art industry has become. A form of payment for under the table purchases. So, yeah, and I think a lot of people in the art industry shouldn't have any place to dictate what is and what isn't, because I don't think that taping bananas to the wall and poop paintings and robotic blood art or mud art and such that is commonly published in the mainstream modern art industry is really lame, corny, cringy, nerdy, boring, really boring. And so it's just a way to keep the mainstream algorithm dumbed down, boring, lame and corny kind of war on consciousness to keep it ugly. They want it ugly and poopy banana paintings on the wall. And so, for example, I often see a lot of the mimics and copycats on Pinterest mimicking my art cars, my vehicle designs and such. And it's scam artists, it's fraud, fake, phony, middleman. And I saw an ad on Pinterest yesterday saying how to turn your love for auto design into a career. And I suppose, that's yeah, they never offered me a job, and they're paying artists to mimic my art car designs on Pinterest. That kind of makes me angry. That makes me angry, yeah. I think anybody would be angry seeing other artists getting paid for my designs and my inventions and such. And they do it on purpose just to insult me. And, I left a comment saying, as if these frauds don't know how to buy a custom car. It's like you need instructions on how to turn your love for vehicle design into a career. No, you don't. Look, it's very simple. Going from point A to point B. If you like my art, cars, and designs, and patents, and so forth, it's not going to be cheap making a custom car. It's not cheap. There are many different forms of cash transaction. You contact me on social media. Find a way to contact me. Leave a message. Nobody ever responds to any of my videos on social media because they got me like on the deep web where I'm just being observed like a lab rat in a petri dish. So I'm not allowed on the surface mainstream web. They keep me in the deep web petri dish, lab rat petri dish, and do their psychological warfare mind games with me. And it's really creepy. Ugh. So, anyways, this is not complicated. It's my design, it's my art, it's my blueprint. I'm the inventor. I am a material scientist and welder and fabricator. And I'm doing some pretty interesting science stuff with material science. And so my independence is my agenda. Okay, I just want independence. I could do my own damn thing. So for example, I saw a Pinterest ad of GMC mimicking my wireframe, ethereal, filigree, hollow, vascular wireframe art. And it can be 3D printed using different methods and such. And that makes me angry because GMC never offered me a job and they're paying somebody else to mimic me. When really it is as simple as saying, hi, we want you to make this product design. I'm the inventor. I'm the creator. I designed it. That's my blueprint. I have the copyrights for that. There are many different forms to wire me money, cash in my hand. You have a proof of receipt, proof of payment, and then I hire machine shops. If I have money, machine shops will do pretty much whatever I tell them. They're not free, but if I have money, machine shops will do whatever I tell them. And there are plenty of professionals that work at these machine shops. And so I would appreciate it if the marketing agencies, designers and fabricators in the industry stop copycatting me and start paying me, please. I've been targeted, harassed, and gang stalked by, I would say they're mafia, Antifa or something, wearing police officer costumes, like 20 times this past year. I don't want to get into too much detail, but I got arrested not long ago for taking a nap in my van. and the judge is trying to put me in jail for 6 months. I got out. I was like, you're going to lock me up for 6 months for taking a nap in my van. That it doesn't work like that. They had to let me go. And I get out of jail and I see a video on YouTube about a government goonie getting a multi-million-dollar grant for my art and science project. It's hard to tell what is what with the government. You never know which way the wind is blowing with the government. It could be fake, it could be phony, it could be bullcrap, whatever. But, I saw a government goonie getting multi-million-dollar grant for my crystal jet, crystal cars, crystal tanks, and such. And that makes me angry. That money needs to be redirected into my bank account. I don't know if that's true or not, because the military could do this stuff and get away with it. There's no, they can keep it top secret. Say this is top secret information and stuff. So it's impossible to get through to the military. But if the military is giving out multi-million-dollar grants for my art and science projects, I know they like the crystal jet idea because transparent jet, it's almost invisible. That's why I've been trying to tell the military, yeah, that's a freaking good idea, having transparent, possibly plastic, possibly acrylic, possibly glass, bulletproof glass jets, because it's transparent. It's almost invisible. It's very hard to see, and they could change colors, possibly. It would reflect blue light, like the sky, like the blue sky. So, yeah, I know the military is interested in a lot of work I do. I got some. I do. I don't want to get into dangerous military stuff, but I do a lot of weapon and vehicle design that the military should be interested in. But, I'm being pushed underneath the rug, out the window, and underneath the bus by this unforeseen force. And I'm not, I need some kind of privilege scrubbing of some type to be acknowledged by this government entity. And the world is a stage and the show is rigged. It's just fake, phony baloney. So, there's a warning label on a movie. It says, the first thing you see when you watch a movie is a warning label. It says, if you copycat and sell this art for profit, it's a crime punishable by 20 years in prison. And that is always happening out there in the art industry. Most of the time, whoever these copyright ninjas are, they got my back. Thank you very much. They have been protecting my blueprints and designs and such. But so what is it I'm going to have to do here other than sell my soul? Jesus Christ is good, true, and facts. Yes. Jesus is good. Just keeping it real. Real talk. This is not delusional psychobabble. I could only... So, just facts here. And, yeah, so these industries never offered me a job, but they're always trying to find a replacement to wear my skin. It's really creepy. But they don't acknowledge me and shadow ban me. And then so I was going up to almost 1 million views a month on Pinterest. And then it got a little too spicy. And then it just dropped from 1 million views a month to 100,000 views a month. So that was obvious. I went a little too spicy with the AI art on Pinterest. And Pinterest was like, you can't do that. You're not allowed to advertise your art on a art app for artists. Shadow banded. And they've been doing that to me on Instagram and Facebook. And it's kind of frustrating when I see real art, real, real good stuff being suppressed by the lame core. I see the lame core go viral, and they're like, this AI art that Nicholas Talbot does is offensive. It offended my lame, corny, cringy, nerdy feelings. He's blacklisted. Yeah, so that's the weird thing about this social media thing. I've been posting videos on the YouTube forever, and I only have 5 people if I look on my YouTube channel, only maybe 10 comments. Only 10 comments on all of my postings. So most likely a large percentage of my viewers is fed, giving me the silent treatment and not acknowledging me like I am useless and meaningless. This type of passive-aggressive psychological abuse they do to, take away the reason and purpose of somebody's existence. That is very painful. Psychological abuse, being observed like a lab rat in a petri dish, and don't give me a thumbs up, and don't give me any comments or any responses. They give me the silent treatments and removing your reason for existence treatment. And it's kind of like a lab rat in a petri dish kind of thing, when they just poke you, and try to break your brain. That's why I would never want to get involved with any of this stuff, because I think that's a big part of reason why they don't like free-thinking artists that are just going to say and do whatever they want. It's almost as if I would like to be myself. We all want to be ourselves. I think what's his name? An actor, Hollywood actor. I forgot his name. He said he was in the movie Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. I know his name. It's on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember it right now. But he said, it's like he said, we would all like to be ourselves. But we all have to follow the leader. We're not allowed to be ourselves. We have to, you know, follow the leader. And what this leader is, I'm not quite sure exactly, and I don't want to know. I think I'm trying to fight for my own ability to lead myself. And the machine is very much against independence. So going against the grain and outside the box and all that is going to piss off the machine. I think that everything I do pisses off the machine. Sorry. Oh well. So, all right. And that's all for today. I wanted to talk about the art, entertainment, music industry, and why I think it should be less regulated and controlled, because I think that what I do is absolutely harmless. I would like to hear anybody's arguments. Nobody ever talks to me on my social media, but I would like to hear what other people are thinking. And that is also very weird. That is so freaking weird about this internet thing. Putting myself out there and nobody ever gives me a comment or tells me what they think, or even if it was a hate speech, even if it was hateful, I'd be like, oh, okay. Sorry you feel that way. I don't really care about if I offended your feelings. I don't do anything. I don't think that there's any reason to be offended by anything I do. But I'm most likely just that there's probably some kind of federal silent treatment and mind game. This military grade psychological brainwashing, subservient footstool, passive aggressive, psychobabble, bullcrap. So I would like to see if anybody has anything to say about anything I do. Tell me why. Why do you think it's controversial? What offends you? You think I'm weird or something? I think a lot of people out there like it weird. Hollywood loves crazy, but I'm just not their type of crazy. People like it crazy and weird. I like crazy weird. Nothing wrong with that. But it's not their kind of crazy weird. It's more like cosmic horror. Okay, let's kind of describe it as organic, raw, organic, blunt, natural, so that's another reason why that probably pisses them off, because they like it synthetic. They don't like it raw and organic. The synthetics don't like the organics. Maybe, I don't know. All right. That is all I wanted to say today. Thanks. Bye-bye.